Now, we recently found out that Kid Kid is no longer a member of G-Unit. His time in the group was short-lived. However, during his G-Unit 1, Kid Kid managed to put out a lot of good material with the group. Kid Kid joined G-Unit in 2011 after being signed to Lil Wayne and Young Money for a couple of years. Lil Wayne discovered Kid Kid on a street corner at a young age. He was one of the first people to ever sign to Young Money, and he was placed in a group called Squad Up. However, after a few business deals went wrong, like being left off Lil Wayne's Mrs. Officer, Kid Kid left Young Money out of pure frustration. With a burning desire to become a more established artist, Kid Kid went back to do what he does best, and that's put out more music. Now, 50 Cent discovered Kid Kid on YouTube. He came across a music video called Bang Bang online. The song was initially a 50 and Freeway record that was released over a decade ago. However, Kid Kid replaced Freeway's verses with his own, and this was the move that got 50's attention.
Like, it was a song that I did with Freeway. You Better Walk. When I saw it, I was like, damn, click, clack, pap, pap, that, give me that. Click, clack, give me that, pow, pow, pap, pap, that's that.
Initially, 50 wanted to take the song down because Kid Kid used 50's vocals without his permission. However, after watching the video, 50 was instantly intrigued by Kid Kid's rugged image, witty wordplay, and delivery. And not too long after that, 50 decided to give Kid Kid a call. Now, at this point in Kid Kid's career, it looked like things were about to take off once again. 50 was about to give Kid Kid more exposure, but little did he know that his own life would eventually be on the line. There was a running joke that a mandatory requirement to be in G-Unit was to get shot.
I got shot and stuff.
You got shot?
Yeah.
6 times?
Yeah, I got shot 6 times, man.
Is that like a mandatory requirement to be in G-Unit?
Everyone knows Banks got shot up twice, 50 got shot 9 times, The Game 5 times, Young Bucker got shot a bunch of times, and ironically 2 weeks after meeting 50 Cent, Kid Kid got shot up 6 times by a group of masked gunmen. Kid Kid was sitting inside a car outside his mother's home in New Orleans when a group of masked gunmen approached him. They shot up the car 36 times. 6 bullets hit the rapper, but luckily none of the bullets were able to do any fatal damage. When Kid Kid turned on the phone after getting shot, 50 was the second person to reach out to him, and soon after that the pair began laying down more tracks together.
Hey, like 2 weeks after that, that's when I got shot up and stuff. What's crazy is that as soon as I cut my phone back on, when I woke up in the hospital bed, that nigga, my second call was 5th, nigga.
Kid Kid appeared to have found a home in G-Unit. However, on April 11, 2018, he announced his departure from the group, leaving most of his fans wondering what happened to Kid Kid. Now, in order to understand what happened to Kid Kid, I think we need to talk about what 50 saw in Kid Kid to begin with. In 50's own words, it's a lot going on down there. And because I've experienced it, I didn't move away from it. I actually ID'd with the situation a little bit more. He got hit 6 times. Colombia, when the situation took place with me, they walked away from me just because they're not familiar with the actual environment and what happens at different points. It'll make me no difference. I understand it. Now, it's no secret that 50 didn't grow up with a lot of money. He lived the street life and he hustled to get to the position that he is in today. In my opinion, that hustle mentality and the struggle that he went through as an up-and-coming rapper is what made 50 exponentially relatable as an artist. 50 was shot 9 times, he was close to losing his life, he was left with nothing but his sheer determination and will to survive, and against all odds, he made it. 50 believed in Kid Kid. They both had similar paths in life, and one thing that nobody can deny is that when 50 believes in an artist, he usually does everything in his power to make sure that they win.
50 will put me in front of him.
I think 50 was trying to say that he related to Kid Kid's struggle, and he thought that the world would relate to Kid Kid as well. But unfortunately for the new G-Unit signee, this wasn't the case because of one simple truth. Nostalgia is sacred. Now, one thing that most record companies know is that nostalgia makes a lot of money. People are more likely to spend their valuable time and energy on something that reminds them of an earlier time in their life, and that's basically why certain artists keep releasing the same album over and over again. Now, a couple of questions that most remakes face is, can they perform better than the original? Will they make more money? And will people enjoy them just as much, or if not more, than the original? However, the simple truth that most remakes face is that most fans prefer their favorite artist's earlier work over their new stuff. Now, maybe I'm in the minority, but I personally saw G-Unit as a group of friends who, apart from Young Buck, grew up in Southside Jamaica, Queens together, and this friendship is the reason they were able to make good music that sounded organic.
Is that a shot because do you still mess with Tony Ayo or Lloyd Banks?
They're always they're like my little brothers.
Yes, G-Unit Records was a business, But there was a genuine friendship between Buck, Banks, 50 and Yayo, and that's why their music worked. Now whenever 50 tried to introduce new members into the group, it was never a success. If you think about it, Olivia's album never came out, Mobb Deep and MOP's time with G-Unit was short-lived, and the game pretty much destroyed G-Unit from the inside out. So when 50 decided to add Kid Kid to the group, most fans didn't like this new adjustment because that's not the image of G-Unit that they grew up with. Think about it this way, if the Migos decided to add a fourth member to the group after years of dominating the charts, wouldn't most people be like, who is this? And that's exactly what 50 tried to do with Kid Kid, when instead Kid Kid should have been marketed as a solo artist under G-Unit Records. That's just my opinion. Like Yayo said, 50 is the type of dude that will place your business needs above his out of loyalty. However, I think the general consensus is Kid Kid didn't fit in with the unit at all. Now it goes without saying that I'm not questioning Kid Kid's talent. However, Kid Kid's involvement with the group felt forced.
Do y'all like Kid Kid?
Of course. Yeah. I mean, because people want to know if it's authentic.
Since his involvement with 50, Kid Kid has appeared on several projects like The Big 10, The Last Tape, 5, Murder by Numbers, Animal Ambitions, The Beast is G-Unit, and The Beauty of Independence. Now in 2015, Kid Kid appeared in XXL's freshman class list. As most hip-hop fans know, the XXL freshman class is a platform for up-and-coming artists to get more exposure. It usually places rappers in a class dictated by their age, relevance, and superstar appeal. So when Kid Kid appeared in the magazine, many people believed his placement was not earned. Kid Kid, I believe at the time, was 31 years old, and that's nearly double the age of the other rappers on the 2015 class list. So when social media got a hold of this news, the media frenzy began. Now here are a few examples of the negative reaction Kid Kid got. You can tell by the look on Kid Kid's face that even he knows that he doesn't belong there. Dog, who did 50 tie up and torture at the XXL office to get Kid Kid on that freshman cover? Kid Kid been in the game for 10 to 15 years, he's just now making the XXL. In my opinion, Kid Kid's image was hurt by his appearance on the XXL freshman list. Whatever credibility he had went out the window because he became the laughingstock of the rap game for a moment in time, and after that it became increasingly difficult to take him seriously. Now if you've been following 50's career since he blew up, you notice that beef and conflict is an important part of his brand. 50 built his career by going at other artists because this usually helped him get more sales. However, over the years, 50 has showed us that as far as beef goes, the members of his own crew are not off limits.
They're away in college.
I like for them to work to sustain their interests in the public.
So they just rode the wave and then they never learned how to grind properly?
That's what I'm thinking now.
50 has constantly called the members of his crew lazy in several interviews and social media posts. He feels like the group could have done more to promote themselves as solo artists because whenever it was time to do interviews, shoot music videos or book shows, the members of G-Unit would always look up to 50 for help instead of taking their own careers into their hands. In 2012, 50 did an interview with XXL where he said the following: "They just sit there and wait. When someone works for you, you have the habit of dealing with things by not dealing with them. You may get in the regimen of coming over and doing it for them." Now from what 50 just said, it's clear that fractures in the group already existed before Kid Kid joined the group. If you think about it, Young Buck became a featuring member of G-Unit after being kicked out and reintroduced into the group, and then later being kicked out again. Tony Yayo was compared to Milk, Banks was called lazy, so Kid Kid was joining a sinking ship, and no amount of talent or marketability could have made his run on G-Unit a success. Now I spoke about this more in depth in my What Happened to Tony Yayo and my What Happened to Lloyd Banks video, but the music climate shifted. G-Unit was no longer at the top of the rap game, and I'll be bold as to say that Kid Kid didn't have bars, he didn't look like a superstar, and even if he did, he wouldn't have become successful in the group because G-Unit's run at the top was over. On February 15, 2008, Kid Kid was interviewed on DJ Nuff's channel. He got asked whether there was any beef between him and the rest of G-Unit, and he said the following: "It's no trouble, it's no beef, you know what I'm saying, or nothing like that. You know, I still talk to everybody, and it's like, yo, doing him." Now in this interview, it appeared as though Kid Kid was okay with the way things ended on G-Unit. However, he doesn't feel the need to talk about 50 Cent and G-Unit anymore.
Man, I don't know, man. Hey, you know what? Instead of y'all come and ask me, who's over me with the unit, why don't y'all go ask the man that got the G-Unit? Because I'm tired of, even, like, come on, man.
Now one thing you can't take away from Kid Kid is his work ethic. Kid Kid has dropped so many mixtapes and singles, he should be a bigger artist by now. However, at this point it's very clear that he's having a difficult time developing an audience. Kid Kid's YouTube page barely gets any views anymore. His Spotify page averages about 40,000 monthly listeners, and his record label Millionaire Entertainment is never spoken about in hip-hop conversation. So in essence, Kid Kid's career is in life support, and at this point I don't see him becoming a bigger artist than he is right now. Then again, that's just my opinion. Anyway guys, what do you think happened to Kid Kid? Let me know in the comment section below. It's your boy Ali. Peace.